I do not count calories, just vibes, okay?
There are so many things I have to say about this. Hey everyone, I'm Abbey Sharp. Welcome back to Abbey's Kitchen. Today you're going to be taking a look at what popular fitness creator Lena Yao, aka Lena Lifts, eats in a day. I actually reviewed one of Lena's cheat day, what I eat in a day videos, and you guys know how I feel about that term. But the day of eating in today's video is likely more on par with her usual routine. That is simple to prepare and high in protein. A quick reminder that what I eat in a day videos should be for meal inspiration only and not be used for comparison. Because you guys know that you can eat just like Lena and not look like her. Everyone's needs are different and unique, and these reviews are meant for education and entertainment purposes only. So for individualized nutrition advice, I always recommend working one-on-one with a registered dietitian. Also, I would love if you guys would hit up my new podcast, Bite Back with Abbey Sharp, because if you guys love the deep dives on controversial nutrition topics, you're gonna love the pod. Okay, I wanna hop in here really quickly to tell you about a brand I am so excited to be partnering with, Halara. So I work from home, and if I'm not sitting in front of a camera, I am all about comfort. So typically my work uniform is like athleisure and a house coat. But now that it's getting nicer outside, and I don't know, I might occasionally leave the house, I kind of want the comfort, but I still also want to look cute. So I was so excited to get my first Halara shipment. And I am so obsessed. Like, these fabrics are so soft and comfortable and breathable, but still really, really durable. And I cannot believe how affordable these are considering the quality. It was so hard to choose what I wanted to start with online because there are so many different colors and they've got a wide range of sizes and styles depending on what you like. Also, this solid thumbhole cropped yoga top is absolutely my favorite. I love the green I got, but there's a bunch of colors, so I'm definitely gonna be buying a few more. And the everyday softly zero airy 2-in-1 cool touch tennis skirt has sun protection of 50+ built in. So this is gonna be my go-to for summer tennis. They also operate on a near zero inventory model, which means that while shipping can take up to 2 weeks, they produce more responsibly, create less waste, and keep costs lower while providing good quality product. And it's not just workout clothes. Like, I got this from Halara, right? They have an amazing line of super comfortable denim, work pants, sweaters, dresses, and more. There's a reason why they've been written up about on so many different media outlets. But guys, leave me a comment below with what look is your favorite because I am truly obsessed. The prices are already so amazing, but if you want to get an extra 20% off full price items, you can use my code SHARP at checkout and come back here after you do and tell me which products you're loving. Happy shopping! All right, folks, let's get into it.
The morning before I put anything in my system, I always start off with drinking a glass of water, and now I'm sipping on my greens, about to make brekkie.
Despite what you might think, I'm actually not anti-greens powder. I think that they can be a good supplement to a diet to kind of like fill in nutrient gaps because they're rich in vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. At least they should be. With that said, they're not a replacement for eating fruits and veg, mostly because they lack arguably the most important component of vegetables, which is fiber. It's the fiber that helps with satiety, blood sugar balance, weight management, gut health and heart health, and so much more. It's not, however, a free pass to never eat a vegetable again, but it could be another tool in the toolbox to help you meet your micronutrient goals.
I do not count calories, just vibes, okay? That's how we do it on this channel. I don't like to track anything. I just try to eat healthy for the most part, but when I want to treat myself, I treat myself.
I feel kind of like I don't count calories, just vibes is gonna end up on some kind of Gen Z brand yoga top now. And even though I definitely feel too old to say that exact phrase, I appreciate the sentiment. Obviously, we know that calorie counting can be a very helpful tool for some people, and I respect that. But for a lot of others, it can be a slippery slope into food guilt, disordered eating, and body distrust. Lena doesn't explain what she means by counting by vibes, but for me at least, It sounds kind of like eating intuitively. And sure, for some people, it might mean eat what I feel like in that specific moment of that specific day. But for the majority of people, especially folks that have been burned by diet culture, something like that tends to feel so vague and scary to even conceptualize. So I prefer to explain intuitive eating as objectively collecting data on how foods make me feel, and then using that data to inform future food choices in a non-judgmental way. So that means, like, if I eat a chocolate croissant for breakfast, I might clock that, I was hungry like an hour later, and maybe I didn't have great digestion that day or didn't have great energy levels. So maybe the next time I'll pair it with some eggs or just choose something else as an act of self-care. But it also means that even though I maybe collected data last Thanksgiving that having 2 full plates of stuffing and sweet potatoes and cranberry sauce didn't leave me feeling the best, I'm probably gonna do it again next year.
Would I do it again? Absolutely.
Because that is what emotionally fills my cup. No judgment, no guilt, no compensatory restriction.
So breakfast is served. For breakfast, I love having a little bit of sweet and salty. So I have my chia seed pudding that I made last night. And then for salty, some scrambled eggs with spinach and an avocado for some healthy fat. And of course, my oxy greens.
Okay, I love this little breakfast plate here going on. And this one is an awesome hunger crushing combo. We've got 18 grams of protein in the egg scramble, healthy fats in the avocado and chia seeds, and loads of fiber in the spinach, avocado, chia pudding, and berries. And I can tell that Lena is also prioritizing the emotional satisfaction of this meal as well by adding in flavor with hot sauce and pairing together both sweet and savory items. Love this.
Okay, you guys, here she is. Avocado protein shake. I know avocado in a shake sounds really weird, but trust me, it's actually really good.
If you struggle with low appetite, either in the morning or post-workout, protein smoothies are a great option because you can just kind of like sip on them slowly until you feel like bigger, more substantial meal. The 2 things I do want to include in a post-workout smoothie are protein and carbs. Protein is important for repairing that muscle damage and supporting muscle growth, and I usually aim for at least 20 grams with 2.5 grams of leucine, which research suggests is kind of like the trigger amino acid for muscle protein synthesis. So some of my go-to protein add-ins are Greek yogurt, silken tofu, or my new theory protein powder, which doubles as your probiotic. And then on the other hand, carbs are important for glycogen resynthesis, aka replenishing that fuel that we used up during our workout. Plus, after a hard session, our muscles are more insulin sensitive and just like ready to soak up the carbs that we give them, which is why refueling shortly after can be so important. So usually for me in my post-workout smoothie, that means some kind of frozen fruit. Now, taking a look at Lena's smoothie, she's pretty much checking all the boxes here. For protein, she's got a protein powder, and for her carbs, she's got some banana, plus a little spinach in there for some antioxidants and a bit of fiber. Plus, we've also got the avocado for healthy fats. So this looks like a beautiful hunger crushing combo to help her recover post-workout. Time for lunch.
Alrighty, you guys, lunch is served. Look how gorgeous she looks. Healthy, high protein, spicy chicken wrap. Super easy to make and tastes amazing.
Okay, I have a rant I need to have, but I cannot tell you how many children's worksheets or like educational kids games I have seen where you're like supposed to sort foods into healthy and junk categories. And obviously I'm vehemently against calling foods junk or categorizing foods at all. So I like rip those worksheets up and I go full Karen at school when I see them.
It's Karen.
But also, they always categorize tacos as unhealthy. And I've had to explain to my very confused kids that tacos are a great meal option. Tacos are, in my opinion, a perfect opportunity for balance. You got your carb tortilla, then you add in your protein, which for Lena was chicken, but it could easily also be fish or tofu or beans or beef, shrimp, anything really. And then I like to load up on the veggies with salsa, cabbage slaw, bell peppers, whatever I have. And then we get our fats from the guac and the cheese and our sour cream or whatever you like. In my house, it's all the things. I also want to add that I know not everyone has time to whip up a full lunch from scratch, especially in the middle of a workday. So I just want to remind people, content creators for the most part are kind of in charge of their own schedule. And if they're making it part of their content and their work for the day, I mean, it makes sense that they're going to film a whole production. But for my folks working, a typical 9 to 5 in the office, please don't feel like you're not trying hard enough if your meals don't look like this. Because honestly, mine don't. So if this is you, I want to share some tips to adapt this meal. Number 1, meal prep the protein and the toppings so that all you have to do is assemble and eat. 2, turn these into a taco salad or burrito bowl by serving it on a bed of rice or mixed greens. So that way you can kind of make each meal in advance and then just grab it out of the fridge. 3, consider a meal kit service or a subscription salad or bowl service. I actually recently partnered with Inspired Go on an amazing Abbey signature salad, but they also have this great Tex-Mex taco salad bowl that I love as well. And then finally, allow yourself the opportunity on occasion to head to a place like Chipotle where you can build a taco or taco bowl with all the hunger crushing components. It doesn't have to be homemade to provide the nutrition you need.
Your girl just finished cooking dinner for 2. This is my infamous high protein ground beef pasta.
Pasta night is the best night of the week, am I right? And Lena's recipe looks so comforting and cozy. You really cannot go wrong with a classic red sauce bolognese style situation. But we have tons of protein, plus iron, B vitamins, and zinc from the ground beef, as well as some fats in the parm and the cream as well. Now, if this were my bowl, I probably would want a little more fiber in here, and I could think of at least 4 great ways to do that. I'm sure there's millions, but you could do half and half with ground beef and lentils in the sauce. You could spiralize in some zucchini or squash with the noodles. You could swap the wheat noodles altogether for chickpea pasta, which has twice the fiber and protein. Or you could just simply serve it with a side green salad. So no different than tacos, there are just so many ways to make pasta night the most nutritious meal of the week. I'm also loving the mocktail situation here, especially since we know that alcohol can disrupt sleep by interfering with REM sleep, which causes temperature dysregulation and releases stress hormones that trigger early morning wake-ups. As an insomnia girly, I like my mocktails too.
I just took this out of the freezer. These are actually Chunky Monkey frozen yogurt bars. This is my first time making them, never made them before, so I'm excited to try. So I just melted some chocolate to drizzle on top.
Oh, I love this. I'm a huge fan of making yogurt bark with my kiddos with whatever kind of goodies I find in the pantry. And I love that Lena bulks hers up with extra protein from protein powder. I've actually never tried that, so I'm definitely gonna get on that. Even though it's worth pointing out that not every dessert needs to be healthified or high protein. But yeah, for an everyday option, I think this looks great, especially because we know that including a combination of fiber-rich carbs and protein is ideal for supporting stable blood sugars throughout the night and therefore for contributing to a good night's sleep. This would be so amazing with our chocolate silk new theory and some freeze-dried strawberries and almonds. So yeah, I'm filing that under must-do tonight.
I have dessert every single night. I have such a sweet tooth. Can't end the night without a little bit of sweetness.
What if I told you that it is okay to eat dessert every night?
What?
I'm not saying we should be diving into a full pan of brownies every single night of the week, but as someone with a history of orthorexia, normalizing dessert as part of a balanced diet was a huge part of healing my relationship with food. The whole clean eating movement seems to push this all or nothing mentality, where if you so much as choose a square of milk chocolate over raw cacao nibs, you're suddenly failing. But dragging yourself through a mouthful of bitter, gritty, hard shards that you hate is really a setup for a binge the moment you do get your hands on the leftover Halloween candy from October. So, incorporating foods that you enjoy, even if they are less nutrient dense, can be a big underrated tool to make healthy eating more sustainable for the long term. Remember, nutrition is about the long game, not about a single meal or snack. And also keep in mind that dessert doesn't always have to mean like a big indulgent piece of chocolate cake. Sometimes it is, but other times it might just be a bowl of berries or a little cookie or some cheese and fruit crackers or a higher protein recipe like Lena's yogurt bark. Dessert is really just a word that means a meal to come after a main meal that is generally sweet-ish, but it doesn't have to hold so much moral weight.
I just remember when I first started working out, I would always watch these what I eat in a day videos to try to get an idea of what I should eat so that I could look like the person that is in the video, because I lacked so much self-confidence in myself. Healthy starts from here and then it translates to the physical. It wasn't my physical that was the unhealthiest part, it was my mental. Instead of comparing yourself to other girls and what their bodies look like, what they're eating, how they look, that you are taking it day by day, trying to be the best version of yourself that you can be.
This right here. Snaps all around, okay? Yes. After watching nonstop What I Eat in a Day videos, starting with this like flexed ab body shot from the neck down, it can be really hard to detach the active nourishment from trying to look a certain way. And although social media is still full of toxic creators, especially in the fitness space, I'm so glad that we're starting to see people like Lena who can learn from their experiences and encourage eating for your health and as an act of self-care. Health is not just about what you look like, but mostly about how you feel. So thank you so much, Lena, for being a positive role model amidst all the diet culture we are wading in online. And that brings me to the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching, and be sure to check out Lena for more realistic fitness content. And if you're looking for more no BS nutrition advice like this, definitely check out my podcast, Bite Back with Abbey Sharp. And I'll see you next time on Abby's Kitchen. Bye.